Welcome to BookBuzz Reviews and Summaries. Imagine this. You meet someone amazing, sparks fly, and everything seems perfect until it all falls apart. You wonder, what went wrong? Was it fate? Miscommunication? Or something deeper that you couldn't see at the time? Well, what if the answer to that question lies within a fundamental part of who you are, a part that's shaped by your past, your experiences, and your hidden emotional wiring? In Attached, the new science of adult attachment and how it can help you find and keep love, Dr. Amir Levine takes us on a fascinating journey into the hidden world of attachment theory, offering profound insights into why we love the way we do and how understanding our attachment styles can completely transform the way we approach relationships. This isn't just another self-help book filled with vague advice on how to improve your love life. No, this is a groundbreaking exploration into the very science behind human connections, backed by decades of psychological research, real-life case studies, and practical tools to help you navigate love in a way that empowers you rather than leaving you confused, frustrated, or heartbroken. Whether you're in a relationship, single, or have found yourself trapped in unhealthy patterns of love, Attached will open your eyes to the unspoken dynamics that govern how we bond with others. It unveils the secret to understanding why we gravitate towards certain partners, why we fear rejection, and why we often end up in relationships that don't serve us, or worse, sabotage our happiness. But here's the exciting part. The key to finding lasting, fulfilling love is not about changing who you are or playing games. It's about embracing your true emotional self and finding a partner who complements your attachment style. Through Attached, you'll learn how to identify your own attachment pattern, whether you're an anxious, avoidant, or secure, and gain the tools to break free from destructive patterns and build stronger, healthier connections. Are you ready to stop playing the guessing game in relationships? Ready to understand the hidden forces that influence the choices you make, the fears you harbor, and the ways you interact with those you love? This book will give you the clarity and understanding you've been looking for to not only improve your romantic relationships, but to also enhance your overall emotional well-being. So grab a seat, because this journey into the science of love is about to change everything you thought you knew about yourself and the people you choose to love. Welcome to Attached, your ultimate guide to finding and keeping the love you deserve. Part 1. Chapter 1. Decoding Love. Why Attachment Styles Matter. The book opens with a universal truth that immediately pulls the reader in. We all crave love and connection, but why is it so challenging to find and maintain? Dr. Amir Levine introduces the groundbreaking science of adult attachment theory, which stems from decades of research in child psychology, but has now been adapted to explain the dynamics of romantic relationships. Levine sets the stage with a captivating story of Rachel and her boyfriend, John. Rachel feels deeply insecure in the relationship because John often seems distant and unresponsive. She tries harder to get his attention, but the more she pushes, the more he pulls away. This common dynamic, Levine explains, is rooted in their attachment styles, Rachel's anxious and John's avoidant. Through this story, Levine teases the central premise of the book. Understanding your attachment style can be the key to transforming your love life. He compares attachment styles to a love blueprint, something that unconsciously drives how we behave in relationships. By the end of the chapter, readers are eager to uncover their own blueprint and understand how it shapes their interactions with others. Chapter 2. The Science of Attachment from Babies to Adults. Levine delves into the origins of attachment theory, recounting the work of renowned psychologists like John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. These researchers discovered that infants develop different attachment styles based on how responsive their caregivers are to their needs. The magic happens when Levine connects these childhood findings to adult relationships. He explains that just as infants seek closeness to their caregivers for safety and comfort, adults seek emotional bonds with their romantic partners. However, the way we attach to others varies depending on our early experiences. Levine introduces the three main attachment styles. Secure. People with this style are comfortable with intimacy and dependability. They thrive in relationships and communicate effectively. Anxious. These individuals crave closeness, but often fear abandonment, leading to behaviors that can overwhelm their partners. Avoidant. People with this style value independence and often resist intimacy, even when they deeply care about their partners. He weaves in examples like Sarah, who constantly worries her boyfriend will leave her, anxious, and Mike, who always finds a reason to end relationships when they get serious, avoidant. The stories are relatable and compelling, making readers reflect on their own lives. Levine's tone is compassionate and reassuring, emphasizing that attachment styles are not good or bad. Instead, they are patterns we've developed over time, and they can change with awareness and effort. Chapter 3: How Attachment Styles Shape Our Love Lives. This chapter dives into the real-life impact of attachment styles. Levine describes how they influence everything from how we communicate to how we handle conflict. Using vivid anecdotes and research, he paints a clear picture of each attachment style in action. For example, he shares the story of Mark and Lisa. Mark, a secure individual, has always been a calm and steady presence in relationships. When Lisa, who is anxious, starts to panic because Mark doesn't immediately text her back, he reassures her instead of pulling away. This dynamic shows how secure individuals can help balance out other attachment styles. Levine also explores the challenges of anxious avoidant pairings, which he calls the most combustible combination. He likens it to a dance where one partner constantly steps forward while the other steps back. Readers see this play out in the story of Adam and Clara. Adam's avoidant tendencies make him retreat whenever Clara expresses her need for closeness, leaving her feeling abandoned. This, in turn, makes Clara cling even more tightly, creating a vicious cycle. By showing how attachment styles interact, Levine helps readers understand their past relationship struggles and see patterns they may not have noticed before. He invites readers to start asking themselves powerful questions. Am I anxious, avoidant, or secure? What about my partner? How have these dynamics shaped my relationships? Chapter 4: Identifying Your Attachment Style. In this chapter, Levine introduces a practical tool, the Attachment Style Questionnaire. This quiz helps readers identify their own attachment style, as well as that of their current or past partners. The tone here is conversational and encouraging, as Levine reassures readers that there is no judgment in this process, just a path to greater self-awareness. He shares insights from clients who had aha moments after taking the quiz. One such client, Emma, always thought she was too needy in relationships. After discovering she had an anxious attachment style, she realized her behavior wasn't a flaw but a response to her emotional needs. This shift in perspective empowered her to approach relationships with more clarity and confidence. Levine also shares insights about securely attached individuals, emphasizing that they are not mythical creatures, they simply have different emotional wiring. They communicate openly, set healthy boundaries, and provide a stable foundation in relationships. The chapter ends with an exercise. Readers are encouraged to reflect on their attachment style and think about how it has influenced their relationships. This introspection is framed as a first step toward building healthier and more fulfilling connections. Chapter 5: The Secure Path: What We Can Learn from Secure Partners. Levine shifts gears to focus on the secure attachment style and why it's the gold standard for healthy relationships. He describes secure individuals as relationship anchors who create stability and trust. But he also acknowledges that being secure doesn't mean being perfect. Secure people face challenges too. The difference lies in how they respond to those challenges. Through real-life examples, Levine shows how secure individuals approach common relationship scenarios. For instance, when faced with conflict, they prioritize communication and collaboration rather than blame or withdrawal. They are also skilled at recognizing their partner's needs and finding compromises that work for both. One of the most empowering aspects of this chapter is Levine's assertion that attachment styles are not fixed. People with anxious or avoidant tendencies can learn from secure individuals and adopt their behaviors over time. Levine calls this the earn secure path and shares inspiring stories of people who transformed their attachment patterns through therapy, self-reflection, and supportive relationships. He ends the chapter with practical tips for cultivating secure behaviors, such as practicing active listening, expressing needs clearly, and focusing on mutual respect. Readers are left feeling hopeful and motivated, ready to explore the possibilities of more secure relationships. Final thoughts on Part 1. Part 1 of Attached is a captivating deep dive into the science of attachment and its profound impact on our love lives. By blending research with relatable stories and practical tools, Levine draws readers into a journey of self-discovery and growth. His humble, conversational tone makes complex ideas accessible, leaving readers eager to apply these insights to their own relationships. Part 2. Chapter 6. The Anxious Attachment Style. Navigating Emotional Intensity. In Part 2, Levine dives deeper into each attachment style, beginning with the anxious attachment style. Through vivid storytelling and scientific insights, he helps readers understand the inner world of those with anxious tendencies. Levine paints a compassionate portrait of individuals with an anxious attachment style. They tend to be highly attuned to their partner's emotions and are quick to notice any signs of distance or withdrawal. However, this heightened sensitivity often leads to overthinking and fear of rejection. He tells the story of Emily, a young woman who constantly checked her phone for messages from her boyfriend, Ryan. When he didn't respond quickly, her mind spiraled with worst-case scenarios. Was he losing interest? Was he angry? Levine explains that this anxiety isn't irrational. It's rooted in a deep need for connection and fear of abandonment. The chapter is packed with relatable examples of how anxious attachment manifests in relationships, such as excessive texting, needing constant reassurance, and overanalyzing interactions. Levine reassures readers that these behaviors are not flaws but survival mechanisms developed early in life. To help anxious individuals manage their emotions, Levine offers practical strategies. 1. Recognize triggers. Understand what sets off your anxiety, whether it's a delayed text or a lack of affection. 2. Communicate openly. Share your feelings with your partner instead of bottling them up. 3. Focus on secure partners. Seek relationships with people who can provide the stability and reassurance you need. The chapter ends on a hopeful note, emphasizing that anxious individuals can thrive in relationships with the right tools and understanding. Chapter 7. The Avoidant Attachment Style. Understanding the Lone Wolf. Next, Levine explores the avoidant attachment style, which he describes as the flip side of the anxious coin. Avoidant individuals value independence and often struggle with intimacy. While they may appear confident and self-sufficient, Levine reveals that their behavior often stems from a fear of vulnerability. He introduces readers to Jake, a man who always found something wrong with his partners. Whether it was their laugh or their taste in movies, Jake's nitpicking was a way to keep emotional closeness at bay. Levine explains that avoidant individuals often use such deactivating strategies to create distance and maintain a sense of control. Levine delves into the challenges of dating someone with an avoidant style, such as their tendency to withdraw during conflict or resist labeling the relationship. However, he also emphasizes that avoidant individuals are not bad partners. They simply have a different way of relating to others. For those with avoidant tendencies, Levine offers actionable advice. 1. Acknowledge your patterns. Recognize when you're using deactivating strategies to avoid closeness. 2. Practice vulnerability. Take small steps toward opening up, such as sharing your feelings or accepting support. 3. Understand your needs. Avoidant individuals often thrive in relationships with clear boundaries and space for autonomy. Levine's empathetic tone encourages avoidant readers to reflect on their behaviors without judgment and consider how they can create more fulfilling connections. Chapter 8. The anxious avoidant trap, the most challenging combination. Levine shifts his focus to one of the most complex dynamics in relationships, the pairing of anxious and avoidant partners. He calls this the anxious avoidant trap and describes it as a cycle of emotional highs and lows that can feel both intoxicating and exhausting. The chapter opens with a story of Sarah and David, whose relationship was marked by constant push and pull. Sarah, with her anxious attachment style, craved closeness and reassurance. David, with his avoidant tendencies, needed space and independence. Whenever Sarah reached out, David pulled away, triggering Sarah's fears and intensifying her need for connection. Levine uses this story to highlight the paradoxical dynamic between anxious and avoidant partners. The more one pushes for intimacy, the more the other retreats. This cycle can create intense emotions that keep both partners hooked, even when the relationship is unhealthy. To break the trap, Levine suggests: 1. Recognize the cycle. Awareness is the first step to change. 2. Communicate effectively. Both partners need to express their needs and fears in a non-confrontational way. 3. Set boundaries. Anxious partners may need to focus on self-soothing, while avoidant partners can practice staying present during moments of closeness. Levine also emphasizes the importance of compatibility. While it's possible for anxious and avoidant individuals to build a healthy relationship, it often requires significant effort and self-awareness. Chapter 9: Finding a Secure Partner, the Key to Relationship Success. Levine brings the spotlight back to the secure attachment style, highlighting why secure partners are ideal for both anxious and avoidant individuals. He describes secure individuals as emotional rock stars who provide stability, reassurance, and trust. Through the story of Mia and James, Levine illustrates how a secure partner can transform a relationship. Mia, who had an anxious attachment style, often worried about James's feelings for her. Instead of withdrawing or becoming defensive, James responded with empathy and reassurance. Over time, Mia's anxiety decreased, and she felt more confident in the relationship. Levine explains that secure partners have a unique ability to create a safe emotional space, allowing their partners to express themselves without fear of rejection or judgment. He also debunks the myth that secure individuals are boring or unexciting. Instead, they bring a sense of calm and reliability that fosters deep, lasting intimacy. The chapter ends with tips for identifying secure partners, such as looking for consistent behavior, open communication, and emotional availability. Levine encourages readers to prioritize these qualities over fleeting chemistry or surface-level attraction. Chapter 10: The Role of Communication in Attachment Dynamics. In this chapter, Levine emphasizes that effective communication is the cornerstone of healthy relationships, regardless of attachment style. He shares practical strategies for navigating common challenges, such as expressing needs, resolving conflicts, and addressing differences in attachment styles. Levine introduces the concept of attachment-friendly communication, which involves using clear, non-defensive language to convey feelings and needs. For example, instead of accusing a partner of being distant, an anxious individual might say, "I feel disconnected when we don't spend time together. Can we plan a date night?" The chapter is rich with examples and exercises, such as role-playing scenarios and sentence starters for difficult conversations. Levine's goal is to empower readers to express themselves authentically while fostering understanding and connection with their partners. Final thoughts on Part 2. Part 2 of Attached takes readers on an emotional journey through the complexities of attachment dynamics. By exploring each attachment style in depth, Levine provides a roadmap for understanding and transforming relationship patterns. His compassionate storytelling and practical advice leave readers feeling enlightened and equipped to create healthier, more fulfilling connections. Part 3. Chapter 11: Becoming More Secure, Healing Attachment Wounds. In Part 3, Levine transitions to the idea of personal growth and how individuals can heal their attachment wounds in order to build more secure, loving relationships. The chapter opens with the story of Clara, a woman who had spent years in emotionally turbulent relationships. Her anxious attachment style had led her to constantly seek reassurance and validation from her partners. Levine explains that the key to becoming more secure in relationships is self-awareness, understanding the roots of your attachment style and how it influences your behaviors. Clara, for example, had never considered how her early relationships had shaped her fears of abandonment. By reflecting on these patterns, she was able to break the cycle and take control of her emotional responses. The chapter offers concrete steps for developing a more secure attachment style, including 1. Therapy or self-help, seeking professional help or using books and resources to gain insight into one's attachment patterns. 2. Mindfulness practices, learning to observe emotional triggers without reacting impulsively. 3. Fostering secure relationships, spending time with emotionally available people who model secure attachment behaviors. Levine reassures readers that healing from attachment wounds is possible and encourages them to be patient with themselves as they embark on this journey. By practicing self-compassion and seeking supportive relationships, individuals can move toward emotional security. Chapter 12. How Attachment Affects Sex and Intimacy. In this chapter, Levine delves into the intersection of attachment styles and sexual intimacy. He explores how each attachment style influences how individuals approach physical affection, sex, and emotional closeness in romantic relationships. Levine begins with a scenario involving Rachel and Tom, a couple whose different attachment styles led to conflicting needs when it came to sex. Rachel, with an anxious attachment style, often felt disconnected and insecure about their intimacy, while Tom, with an avoidant style, preferred to keep emotional distance during sex. The chapter provides a fascinating exploration of how attachment dynamics impact sexual intimacy, from the anxious partner who seeks constant reassurance to the avoidant partner who may struggle with vulnerability in the bedroom. Levine explains that these dynamics can create tension and frustration if left unaddressed, but with understanding and communication, partners can find more fulfilling ways to connect. Levine offers several tips for enhancing intimacy, such as 1. Opening up about needs. Being vulnerable and communicating desires can lead to more satisfying sexual experiences. 2. Recognizing triggers. Understanding when attachment-related anxiety or avoidance is affecting intimacy. 3. Building trust. Creating a safe space for emotional and physical intimacy to thrive. Levine's insights into the psychological aspects of sex challenge traditional notions of intimacy, encouraging readers to see sex as an opportunity for emotional connection and growth. Chapter 13. Attachment and Breakups. How to Coexist After Love Ends. One of the most emotionally challenging aspects of relationships is dealing with breakups. In this chapter, Levine addresses the aftermath of a breakup and how attachment styles influence the healing process. Levine tells the story of Jack and Hannah, two individuals who had ended a long-term relationship. Jack, with his secure attachment style, was able to cope with the breakup relatively well. He focused on his hobbies, friends, and personal growth. However, Hannah, who had an anxious attachment style, found herself consumed by the loss, constantly rethinking the relationship and longing for closure. Levine explains that each attachment style has a different way of responding to breakups. Anxious individuals tend to ruminate on the relationship and may even try to get back together with their exes. Avoidant individuals, on the other hand, may shut down emotionally and avoid processing the pain of the breakup altogether. Secure individuals are usually able to manage their emotions more effectively and move on with resilience. The chapter offers practical strategies for healing from a breakup, including 1. Processing emotions, allowing oneself to grieve and reflect without rushing to move on too quickly. 2. Maintaining boundaries, avoiding contact with an ex to help establish emotional closure. 3. Rebuilding self-esteem, focusing on self-care and activities that rebuild one's sense of worth. Levine also provides advice for those who share children or co-parent after a breakup, emphasizing the importance of healthy boundaries and clear communication. Chapter 14: Attracting the Right Partner, Using Attachment Theory to Find Love. As the book nears its conclusion, Levine addresses the practical application of attachment theory in finding the right partner. He offers insight into how understanding your own attachment style, as well as the styles of potential partners, can dramatically improve the chances of building a healthy, lasting relationship. Levine shares a case study about Alex, a man with an avoidant attachment style who had a history of choosing partners who were either anxious or avoidant. His relationships often ended in frustration, as his tendency to pull away created a cycle of emotional distance. However, after learning about attachment theory, Alex began seeking partners with a secure attachment style. This shift allowed him to experience more fulfilling, stable relationships. The chapter offers practical advice for identifying potential partners who align with your attachment needs. 1. Focus on emotional availability. Look for partners who demonstrate empathy, consistency, and emotional responsiveness. 2. Trust your instincts. Pay attention to how you feel in the early stages of a relationship. Are you comfortable being vulnerable? 3. Avoid settling. Recognize when a relationship isn't meeting your emotional needs, and don't be afraid to walk away. Levine encourages readers to use their understanding of attachment styles to navigate the dating world with clarity and confidence. By understanding their own patterns and those of others, they can make more informed decisions when it comes to love. Chapter 15: Building a Secure Relationship, What Makes Love Last. The final chapter of Attached focuses on the secrets to building a secure and lasting relationship. Levine emphasizes that a strong, enduring relationship isn't about finding the one. It's about creating a partnership where both individuals feel safe, valued, and loved. He discusses the importance of communication, trust, and mutual respect in maintaining a healthy relationship. Levine offers insights into conflict resolution, encouraging couples to approach disagreements with empathy and understanding rather than defensiveness or withdrawal. He closes with the story of Kate and Daniel, a couple who had learned to navigate their attachment differences through open communication, compromise, and emotional support. Their relationship was far from perfect, but it was resilient because they had learned to be emotionally available to each other. Levine leaves readers with a powerful reminder that while attachment styles play a significant role in relationships, personal growth and commitment are the true keys to lasting love. By continually working on themselves and their relationships, couples can create a deep, enduring connection that withstands life's challenges. Final thoughts on Part 3. Part 3 of Attached provides readers with the tools to transform their relationships by fostering emotional security and understanding. Levine's compassionate, science-based approach offers hope and practical guidance for those struggling with attachment-related challenges. Through relatable examples, actionable strategies, and an emphasis on self-awareness and communication, Levine empowers readers to create and sustain loving, fulfilling partnerships. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new video updates. Happy learning!